All of the institutions appear to be crumbling. Consider the FBI. We have news today that the FBI, in fact, knew not only about Hunter Biden's laptop, which they swore to us. Remember all those ex-spooks getting out there saying, no way, no how, there's nothing but fake information on Hunter Biden's laptop. They not only knew about the laptop, they knew about the money he was making from all those companies overseas. This in from Just the News. FBI knew since 2016, Hunter Biden's team nearly scored a $120 million Ukrainian deal while Joe was VP. So they knew he was making money in Ukraine. They knew all about it. He didn't register as a foreign agent, as he should have. And even although President Obama had requested that none of his top team members have family members getting gravy trains from overseas, in other words, your kid was not supposed to be a lobbyist, Joe Biden allowed his son Hunter to profit off Ukraine anyway, to the tune of $83,000 a month for him, another $83,000 for his business partner, Devin Archer. And so a new story came out, as you can see, Just the News has it. Breaking news on Twitter also tweeted it. Let me go to that. It's very hard to read this. I realize that, guys. Very, very hard to realize it. But I was looking at these emails, and suffice it to say, they're going back and forth with the lawyer representing Hunter, and they're trying to understand exactly what his company is. So they knew about the company. They knew about where the money was coming from. They knew what the potential was for it. And yet they gaslit you and the rest of America for years, and certainly for months during the election. I'm assuming they justified it somehow. This is how these communist types always work, right? It's justified. Just like Hugo Chavez justified stacking the court, just like MSNBC and The View somehow justify this new hatred of the Supreme Court. I mean, they'll justify anything. They justified, I guess, to themselves, 51 ex-spooks that ought to be ashamed, telling the American public in that very public letter that it was all fake news, that Hunter Biden's laptop was not real. It was nothing but a bunch of misinformation. This is what they fed you. Well, the real misinformation, which happened to be the so-called dossier about Donald Trump that led to the Russia investigation and consumed our time and filled Rachel Maddow's airwaves every single night. She sat there breathlessly reporting on all of this every night. It was all fake. All of it brought to you by, bought and paid for, none other than Hillary Clinton's legal team, who had employed Christopher Steele, the ex-British spy, who was employed by another layer. I mean, it was like Hunter Biden's business, right? All those different LLCs, they had like layer after layer. The law firm that employed the research firm, what was it, Fusion GPS or something, and then they were the ones who employed Christopher Steele. I mean, my goodness, who then employed some other people, including one that was actually believed to be, get a load of this, an actual Russian spy. So I mean, that is dubious stuff. And yet they insisted it was all fake. Well, it turns out they actually knew the deal all along. So they gaslit you. They hid this from you. In the meantime, guess what? Joey Boy insists, nothing to see here? No, his son is totally innocent. Well, no, he's not, given what the court just decided, right? Take a peek.
Sir, there is something personal that's affecting you. Your son, while there's no ties to you, could be charged by your Department of Justice. How will that impact your presidency?
First of all, my son's done nothing wrong. I trust him. I have faith in him. And it impacts my presidency by making me feel proud of him.
Real proud. Real proud. I mean, let's just start with the basics. He shouldn't be that proud. I mean, you know, all things being equal, the kid has had a lot of struggles. The kid, he's older than me. I got to stop calling him the kid. They want you to think he's just a kid. He's just a kid, you know. Nothing to see here, nothing to worry about because he's just a kid. Anyway, the kid, the adult, the 50-some-odd-year-old adult that he is, clearly had serious, major problems with all kinds of substances. And we won't even get into that one. But that is a reality, folks. That is a reality. So there was that angle. And then there was the whole, let me take up with my brother's, sorry, it's just bad. My brother's widow. Like, I don't think that's really something to be proud of. And then there's the, he had a weapon on him, which was disposed of by a school. So Biden sits there and says, my son has done nothing wrong. Well, we know that's not the case. And they told you that it was a lie, that it was somehow all fake, every bit of it. But they knew about the unpaid taxes. They knew about the work that the son was trying to score in Ukraine, all while his dad was the vice president in charge of Ukraine policy. Makes you wonder when he talks about that corruption issue, right? In the UK, don't forget, there was the investigator that was looking into the company that his son made all the money off of, Burisma, a shady nat gas company. And they didn't like that they were getting looked into for corruption, even though they were corrupt, by the prosecutor there. So Joe Biden had a hand in making sure that that prosecutor never saw the light of day and actually got fired. Certainly seems to me. But you know what? Don't take my word for it. Go back to the original source, Joe Biden himself.
I was, not but it just happened to be, that was the assignment I got. I got all the good ones. So I got Ukraine. And I remember going over, convincing our team, or others too, convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to the press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son, got fired.
Funny. You know what's funny? That's actually going to be the incriminating evidence at the end of the day. So he fires the guy that was investigating his son's company. I'm just going to tell you, you know what? It doesn't look good. For all that Rachel Maddow wants to go on and on about Clarence Thomas's wife, Ginny, and her particular beliefs, for all they want to go on about Alito and his wife, I mean, come on. You were in charge of Ukraine policy. That represented hundreds of millions of dollars. Your son is over there working as a lobbyist, and this company gets Joe effectively to do the dirty work, fire the prosecutor, courtesy of the son. Listen, there's a lot there, I think, and I don't think we scratched the surface. And this is the frustration, right? I know Comer and Jim Jordan, they're trying, but hey, time's running out, guys. Get on with it. Because it's kind of critical and kind of important. And if you don't have anything to show, then, well, we need to know that too. But I have a feeling there is some there. But they're too busy being on TV, right? They got to go on TV every 2 seconds, and they can't actually do any reporting. Somebody's actually going to get some of these financial records together and do some real reporting. The old-fashioned kind, shall we say. But, nothing to see here. Nothing to see. That's the same old. There's nothing to see. There's also nothing to see when it comes to Biden's increasingly fragile mobility state.